What on earth am I going to do with all of this yellow squash? And I have zucchini. But this isn't all. I have some over here waiting, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it. There's some more that I've picked out. Come on in the kitchen, and I'll get behind this booze block and tell y'all what we're going to do. Good morning, folks. I'll tell you what, I asked the good Lord to let our garden produce abundantly, and He's answered my prayers. We're getting lots of yellow squash. I hope the tomatoes do that good. Today I'm going to make some bread and butter pickles using the yellow squash in place of cucumbers, and let me just tell you, I've made them before and they're delicious, and besides that, they're pretty. So my recipe that you're going to get a copy of, I'm halving it today because I don't need a whole bunch, and you can judge by my half how much the whole will make. So to start with, I need to slice 4 cups of the squash, and I'm going to do it about 1/4 inch slices. And I'm going to need 1 cup of onions sliced, 2 bell peppers, and I'm going to use a red one and a green one, and 1/8 cup of canning salt. Now I'm going to bring you over here and show you what we're doing, and that's the first step. And then I'll let you know what goes in the pot to get hot to pour over it here in a minute. Y'all come on over here and get your little instructions so you'll know how to make some of these pickles. Okay, to start with, I've cut my peppers. I could have put the whole slice on there, but I want them to be a little bit, I want the slices to be a little bit more narrow or shorter. So this is my Nimco chopper, and I'm just going to cut my 4 peppers up. Okay, I've got my peppers cut in 1/4 inch slices, and I'm going to put them over here in the bowl. I've already cut my onion, my 1 cup of onion in slices. I just did it with a knife. So I'm going to add it to my bowl. And now we're going to work on the squash. And I've cut it into lengths that will fit on the chopper. Well, I'm shooting it everywhere, aren't I? Man overboard. I better cut that one too. Let's see how far off we are. The heap in 4 cups, I think that's plenty. For those of you that would ask, that's the Nimco Easy Chopper, and I have no affiliation with them, but I ordered it from etundra.com. It comes with 1 blade, and then you have to order what you want to go with it. And I have a 1/4 inch slicer and dicer and a 1/2 inch slicer and dicer, and I do use it often, and I love it. It's an investment worth investing in. Okay, now the second step that we have to do, once we get our squash, and again, I'm making half a recipe, y'all, so if you decide to make it, remember that I made a half. The recipe card will be for the whole recipe. I'm just going to mix it up. Now what you do is you cover it with the salt, and you have to let it set for a couple of hours. And then we make the broth, or whatever you want to call it, the pickling solution that goes on it, and we'll cook it for just about, I think, 5 minutes, and then we'll jar it up and give it a water bath. So I'm going to add my salt to it and stir that all around. And then I'm just going to let it set for a couple of hours, and then we'll be back and go to the next step. Isn't that pretty? I love all the colors in it. Okay, it's been 2 hours now, and it's time to drain the squash and make my little pickle juice here. And because I'm halving it, I just need 1 cup of white vinegar. And I need to put the stuff in my big boiler here and get the sugar dissolved, and then we'll add the squash and peppers and let it simmer 5 minutes, and then we're going to jar it up and put it on the water bath for 10 minutes. So just a minute and I'll angle y'all over here, because you need to see how to pour vinegar and sugar and seasoning in a pot, right? The only thing that goes in here is it calls for 3 cups of sugar, but I'm halving it. So I've got 1.5 cups of sugar, and I'm going to put 1 cup of vinegar, which is half recipe, 1 teaspoon each of celery and celery seed and mustard seed. Now I'm just going to bring this over to the stove and heat it until this dissolves, and then I will add my cucumbers, my yellow squash mix, and get these squash bread and butter pickles made. I want to show y'all how the salt pulls the water off of it. You can see it, I know. So I'm going to drain them, and then I'm going to get them over there in the pot with the vinegar, sugar, and seasoning solution. Okay, my sugar and seasonings have dissolved. Now I need to get it up to a boil because I turned it out for just a minute. Then I add the squash and peppers and onions. Bring it back up to a boil, and then I let it simmer for 5 minutes. And then I'll be ready. I've got my water bath canner right over here. See it? It's heating. And we'll jar them up and get them in the water bath. But I'm fixing, okay, it's starting to simmer. Okay, here they are. They're going to cook for 5 minutes, and then we'll be getting them in jars. Okay, y'all, this has been simmering for 5 minutes, so it's time for me to jar it up. I've got my vinegar here to wipe around the rims of my jars. I've got my funnel. I've got my ladle that I use. I have my lids and rings in hot water, and I'm putting it in the little half-pint jars because I'm the only one that likes them, and I like to have stuff done up in the little half-pints to share. So here we go. We're going to jar up our yellow squash bread and butter pickles. A lid and a ring. I'll go ahead and get these all done. I've got my water bath getting ready for them. Okay, I've got them all in there, and now I'll put the lid on it, bring them to a boil, and let them boil for 10 minutes. Okay, it's boiling, so I'm going to set my timer for my 10 minutes. Okay, I got them out of the water bath, and I'm letting them cool, and they're popping and pinging, so they're sealing. But see, they're just like bread and butter pickles, except I put red bells in them too, and it's squash instead of cucumbers, but they taste the same and they're delicious. There's something so satisfying about canning. For one thing, I know what's in it, and I know it was clean, and I know how it was raised, the stuff that we've raised. And besides that, I like to connect with bygone days. I love the old ways. I love the old values. I love old morals. I love good, clean living. And the more things that I can do that I think my grandma and great-grandma did, the better it makes me feel. And I'm so thankful to see a surge in the generation today having a desire to can and have some sustainable things in their pantry. It's awesome. It's a long time coming. But if you haven't woke up yet, you better wake up. Pickles are not a necessity, but it sure would be nice if you couldn't go to the store and get any to have some on your shelf. Easy. It wasn't hard at all. It didn't take any time to cut all that up. You have to wait the 2 hours while it's salted. Then it doesn't take any time to get ready to jar. It just takes your time from your electronic device or whatever you think is more important than preparing a pantry for your family's future. Y'all need to think about it. The pickles are absolutely delicious. They're good in tuna fish, they're good in chicken salad, they're good to eat with fresh peas or just by themselves. Whatever you would put a sweet pickle in, or bread and butter pickles, they're good. But I like it because they add a different little bit of color. I hope y'all will try the recipe. Now, I made half recipe and I got 6 half pints. So if you made the full recipe, you could count on getting about 6 full. I got 6 half pints. You could probably get 6 pints if you made the full recipe. The good Lord bless and keep y'all. Come back here real soon. We'll have something else for you.